Corey.
Good afternoon.
Oh, you want me to talk, you want to ask questions? It's always dangerous. So if you stand up in front of people. So I did present my budget. It's a little bit of a complex issue for me for this year. The governor's budget this year put $75,000 into the line item for districts. We're 1 year lag, so we got to go through. We'll get the money next April. So one of the caveats of the money is I got to maintain my local level of funding. So I've already met with Matt. I've already talked to Jerry and Terry. Martin and Terry. Martin and Terry. You know about what kind of programs I got to do a water quality initiative here in the county. Where do we go with this money? It could potentially be a long-term investment from the New York State budget. So it's one of those things that when I did my budget this year, it's like, well, I'm going to have $75,000 put into my budget next April. Where do I go with that? And then how do I maintain the county funding when we're getting that? So one of the legislative issues at the state level that I need local support, and in order to maintain local support, I got to show that my county is maintaining that allocation. So I left my budget request where it was last year, but last year you gave me money to buy a truck. So, there's that little extra money in the budget to buy the truck. So I said, with the $75,000, I could reduce it back to the 104. So I called my state rep today and I said, if I reduce my budget to 104, what does that risk? They said the actual amount I'll probably get is about $85,000, and it's a 40%. So I got 4 items. Each one in the Part C budget has got a percentage match, and it's 40%. Is that count? So he said it could be $34,000. So I said,
Mr. Chairman.
what if I put in here that my request was 104, but the 112 was for a special purchase, and he said, you do it as a special item? I said, no, it's just a count allocation.
Okay, and Sean's good with that?
Okay, so he just gets a request.
Did you hear? Oh,
Discussion, yeah.
I missed what was going on here.
Well, I don't think we have his budget sheet here.
Like I said, I need.
Oh, yeah, I was just listening to what he was saying.
Do you have one budget sheet?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, could we have that, make copies?
Yeah, it'd be helpful if you guys had. I just
Yeah.
assumed everybody had the budget, and hand delivered to
Yeah,
you.
we have that.
I hand delivered it, so best I can do. But, so this, I think it's a great opportunity for the county with this money that's going to be given to us for projects. I just want to make sure we put it to good use here in the county. Hope that it comes continuously from here on out, that that line item continues. Just a little oversight on what we've done this year. We do a lot of work with the state grants and implementation projects, and this year we got $1.8 million that comes to our mainly dairy farms. We got beef farms and vegetable farms we're working with too. So in all the grants we took in this year, we got about $1.8 million, which is, our banner is 2.2 million is our record. Usually we average about $1 million, so it's pretty awesome year this year. So I'm really proud of the work that we did over there with the allocations and those grants. So my biggest thing to brag about is we took all the federal money from Syracuse to the Hudson and up to Canada is our area. And Montgomery County took the 1.15 that was available. So I'm pretty proud of that. But I think you guys all know what we're doing. And right now we are pumping water and probably 9 or 10 different farms have requested that we bring our water pump over. The county used to spend about $40,000 to $50,000 a year hauling water to farms. So it's like, we're still moving water. The county's still moving water. But now we just take the pump and the pipe and pump water 3,000 to 4,000 feet. And we find the pond, we find the street, and we fill the pond. So we are moving. In fact, Scott just went back today and brought the pipe back from the last 14,000 minutes. We're still doing all those basic projects.
Do you want to take a gander at his budget before we are done with him quick?
I'm really sorry you guys didn't have that. I apologize. Or wonderful.
You do an excellent job. Thank you for the
I appreciate it.
Thanks for being down
Yeah, this is my persona, I guess.
Just a little side note, Corey, we had some discussions at our board meetings about with that extra $75,000 buying a hydro seeder, which Public Works here could use it, saving some money from leasing one.
Yeah, there's not really an end to the list on this water quality initiative, and I can show water quality improvement, erosion control.
That's here.
16 operating. 7,200 equipment.
Is that what it is, the
No.
7,200
Well, I
line?
added the 70.
Equipment.
I just put the 75,000 up top of the revenue source and 75,000 at the bottom.
Oh,
And they
switch off.
disbursement.
Yeah.
So I just put them both on both sides, so
all right, so yeah, that's added to
it's added, it's in there.
Yep.
it. Okay.
Questions on this?
So the cedars, that's the reason for the increase in the equipment line item?
I figure we're gonna be buying equipment. I gotta do something with $75,000. The recommendation is not to hire a staff person, because we don't know what the longevity of that money is. Could be 1 year, could be 20. So I had to pick a spot to put the 75,000 disbursements and revenue, so I could put them up as revenue source, and maybe I'll buy equipment, maybe we'll do a program, you know. So we're really up and I've been counting these ideas. We got about 50 ideas in the office on what we do with this to start a new initiative here in the county, and what programs we do. The big thing is, what can I do? I pulled farmers, what do you guys need help with? You know, I've talked to Martin, I've talked to Jerry, I've talked to Matt, and what does the county need? You know, what can I do that has a positive impact on the county overall, and that we have a really good response to send back to the state, so that they continue to fund this money, and that I leverage it appropriately.
Corey, the 112.4, that's what we gave you last year, and that's the same money you're asking for this year.
Yeah.
So there's no increase to the county funding portion.
No.
Who does your grants? Do you do it, people in your office? You do an excellent.
I administer all the grants, and then I use my staff to help write the grants, of course.
Excellent, thank you.
Robert?
So when you talk about the cedar, you're talking about a hydro seeding unit? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
well, it's one of the ideas we passed, whether it's a dry mulch seeder, hydro seeders. You know, a lot of people use the hydro seeders or dry mulch seeders. I bought a no-till drill to plant farm fields, but like I said, there's so many things that before next April, I have to make a decision on what direction we're gonna go. So we're doing a lot of talking and discussions on where do we go with this money. And I can't just put it in my bank account, leave it there, and send the government, hey, thanks a lot, but you know, we didn't spend it, we'll see what we can do next year. You know, so it's something we've got to allocate, we've got to get that money out, and I got to be able to show something. So, you know, a cedar's not going to spend $75,000, but I can certainly get, like I said, what projects does the county need? That's really what I'm working on right now, is what does the county need and what can we do? I go over it all the time. This is my life. I love this world. And, you know, I spend my time in Montgomery County just trying to, people talk to me, they say, that's Fulton County, no, that's Churchill County. There's nothing going on over there. You know, it's pretty sad to go across the county line and my world stops. But, you know, that's the way it is. So I do concentrate a lot on this, my little realm here. So I really want to make a big impact with this money, be able to show positive net results and what it's going to be. Hopefully by April, we got this all hammered home.
Good.
Thanks.
That's a nice problem to have.
Well, there's no question there. But, you know, we've shown a lot of results in the state soil and water in general. We've done a lot of successful projects, and that's really being recognized in the governor's office. And we've had a positive impact with our state budget. So hopefully we can continue that. Hope we have a lot of success in the county.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Weights and measures.
How you doing?
Good, how you
How
doing?
are you?
Pretty good. I'm not changing anything in my budget for this year. Do you have any questions?
I see, what is it, a $400 difference maybe? 50,941 to 51,367.
That's salary increase.
Yeah, that's basically where that is, right?
Yeah, so I didn't change any of my numbers.
Okay, questions?
Contractual.
Hmm?
That's contractual.
Yeah. Any questions?
Just, I wouldn't be here if I didn't ask the question. Thank you again, do an excellent job, and thank you for all you do. Gasoline, how have you, been? I know the prices have gone down, and I will not nickel and dime you, I will leave that to the county executive. But have you run pretty much, on budget, or, because the prices have gone down?
This year, I'll probably be a little, I'll have some money left, extra money left over, but
Yep.
as of right now, the truck's breaking down,
Oh, okay.
and probably about $2,000 is gonna have to go into that, and I'm gonna have to pull money out of that to help pay for it.
We
So
don't want to shortchange it, because we shortchange ourselves.
that's why I left
so-
the extra in there, because it's only a matter of time before I got the
Okay.
money into the equipment. You know, it's-
How
Thank
long
you
is
so
that gonna
much.
last?
Well, we're on the 7th or 8th rack and pinion steering unit in it.
I mean, the vehicle itself, before that's gotta be replaced.
How old is it?
Your vehicle,
2009. Was 90,000 into it.
what do you anticipate being a replacement date for something like that?
I was gonna try within the next couple of years to put it in my capital project, just see where it goes. That way at least the bug's out there that it's getting close.
Right? All right.
Other than that, equipment wise, I'm in good shape. So I got nothing to worry about. So.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're good.
All right, have a good day.
You too, have a good
Take
evening.
care.
Oh, Martin Kelly has a question for you. Don't leave quite yet.
We passed the animal cruelty law. Isn't his department the one that's overseeing?
Yes, he's the Department of Consumer Affairs.
I've already started.
You have?
Yes,
Is there?
I have a case going with it right now.
Now, with that, you didn't include any training or anything for that, or?
I haven't heard anything about training, so I don't know what the cost would be.
And then is there any revenues from the fines or anything? Do they go to the sheriff? Do they go to the treasurer? Do they?
I sit and talk to Matt about that. This just came up like abruptly, you know.
Yeah, as Cheryl just said, we may have to also consider changing that department name in the...
How do you go about doing that, Sean?
You know, before we, if you could, before we actually get into finalizing, Martin brings up a good point. Maybe you could research that a little bit to the best of your ability, and if you think that there's going to be a necessary cost, we could, you know, for the training, you got 150 there. I'd rather be a little safe and
The Amsterdam Police Department, Gene Klein goes around and does animal control.
Okay.
And she was on the original animal task force, and they go, she and people that work with her go to other counties that host training and stuff. And I think that would be somebody that could.
I could reach out to different counties. I do know Albany County does something like what I'm gonna be doing again. And a couple others probably do too.
But they, usually there's minimal cost, usually, because local humane societies put on these training and are sponsored through partially ag markets and things like that. You know, just to help in the training.
I'll go get a training.
maybe if you,
I don't plan on it.
if you do realize here in the next few weeks of something that because we may have to add to that line, just if you could get a hold of our office and Sean's office, or Sean's office.
Okay, if I
Matt's
find a
office.
training,
Yeah, if you think that we need to do something there. If you don't, then fine. Or if you find a you know, if there's some training you can get for nothing,
Right.
join in with somebody, that's fine. If you think we need to increase, let us know,
Okay.
you know, all right?
I actually, if I could add to that, Gina is a wonderful person, Martin's right, but also Jeff Smith. I don't know why we
Yeah.
always go to Jeff Smith. I went to a thing at FMCC, and there was an emergency management because animals are also, whenever there's a flood or any natural disaster, animals are a concern for all of the people involved.
Well, is this position going to be a concern for dogs or
Well,
all the animals?
that's where there might be free training, that's why I mentioned Jeff. So he might be another resource, or Martin might know what I'm talking about.
It would be companion animals, because we don't have the authority to legislate farm animals that are under the state law. But the ASPCA and stuff, that would be more where you would probably want to go for training, you know, some of the state issues that are coming up, proper handling and things, you know, for safety and
Sure.
Okay.
I'll look into it.
You do a great job.
You know.
You do a great job, but I'm
Yes,
still
you do.
trying to find that pump that gives me a little more gas.
Thank you, Ray.
Well,
Thanks.
have a good night.
It's not down to earth.
All right, Board of Elections is not with us. Brenda, Youth Bureau, you want to do it?
Yeah, we already said there's flipping with them. I forgot to tell you.
I'm just going to start by mentioning my revenue lines. You'll see some decreases in those. I worked those to show a much more realistic picture of the revenue that we take in. So you'll see there's been some decreases in those lines. I zeroed out one of the lines, culture and recreation. We've kept $5,000 in that over the past couple of years. I applied for requested grant money to help with the youth day events, and I haven't been able to obtain any of the state grant monies for that, so I'm zeroing that out at this time, because it was like, had to get it. On the ATI community service piece, I put in a request for an upgrade in John Wilkes, our work project supervisor's title. In the past, it was a coordinator position, and John is doing just about all of the functions in that title. And I think the salary that he gets currently does not justify the amount of work and the kind of work that he does on a day-to-day basis, so.
I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying, I just know the load of the community service program coordinators, so I could tell by what you're expressing that if you feel the department head that upgrade is, while we do have a $5 million deficit, we have to have faith in the department head and the executive. So,
And the quality and the quantity of work that he completes and the rapport he develops with the clientele, I have to put this request in for him. I don't want to lose him, so that's why I requested that upgraded title for him.
can I ask one more thing? I'm sorry. I know that they work with people that are assigned to do hours or certain things. What is the outcome of that? Are you seeing positive outcomes?
We do. Not all cases. It's a court-ordered community service. These people have committed crimes. We have seen a significant increase in the level of crimes and the people that we're getting in. It's not all kids. That's a big misconception. The program starts at age 16 for us, and it goes right on up through. We've had people in their 50s and 60s in the community service program. Some of the good outcomes, we've had people offered positions, they've obtained jobs through the community service worksites that they've had. So that's one of the big positives that we push for.
That's great. Thank you, Brenda.
I was able to reduce a couple of the lines there. There's not a whole lot in the community service budget. Equipment repair, we did buy a new truck for the community service road crew, so very little repairs with the new truck. And the gas line, of course, with the gas prices as low as they are, and the new vehicle using less gas, of course, so was able to reduce those lines. And I'll move on to the veterans service agency. I had to put in a salary there for the part-time veteran service officer. We have a position there. That person's been away on a 5-year military leave. He is due to return by the end of this year, sometime between August 31st and December. So I did put money in the line in case he does return. I do know that his current orders extend through July of next year, so I'm a little uncertain if he'll be returning for sure or not.
Brenda, explain, because this actually happened prior to the legislature forming,
Okay,
right? So just explain how that all developed and why we need to hold that.
yes. The law requires us to hold a position for any active military people that go away on leave. Yeah.
Well, they don't necessarily have to be away.
No,
Okay.
not, it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't have to be overseas. They can be, right here doing.
But he has
some type of
orders.
Military service, military work, okay, if they're called to do so. So, he left on a 5-year leave, so we had to hold the position. We have since, because of the need, we brought in another person to cover his position, and we turned that into a full-time position. But if he returns, we do have to offer him by law the same or equal position.
Let me ask you, maybe this is for Sean. So we budget this money, and I understand we have to hold it, but do we really need to budget it couldn't we take that money and transfer it from fund balance if need be? Because in essence, we're still holding the job, but we're charging the taxpayer for something we haven't
The
really.
thing is, if you do not budget it and it comes to fruition that he wants to come back, you are going to have to either use contingent money or...
Right, but in the meantime, we're actually charging the taxpayer on a maybe.
Right.
Isn't that a good way to,
Yeah.
simple way to, so it doesn't mean that we're not holding it, but because we're budgeting it, and we budgeted it for how many years now?
5.
Uh,
How many years?
Number 3
It's just
or
about
4?
5 years.
5 years.
At the end
So
of
we
the-
budgeted this every year and never spent the money out of the budget for that,
He does
correct?
receive, I'm going to call it a stipend.
Yeah, he receives a stipend
Each
every year.
January, he receives some money.
Not that amount, though.
No,
It's
it's
18.
18, it's about 18, between 18 and $2,200. And I don't know how that's calculated.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that we're not holding the position or anything like that, I'm just saying, do we really need to budget? How much?
24,000.
Is that what it is, 24?
If he comes back, that would be his salary for next year.
I mean, I know it's just you're changing the money, you just have that over into your fund balance now, the county general fund, but if need be, and he came back, we would be able to just take the money from there and put it in the line.
Here's my question. Have we heard from this individual?
Yes.
Okay, so this individual who's taken the money for 5 years now is now saying, yes, I want to come back after 5 years of taking
I
this.
have not heard a definite answer. I did request a copy of his current orders. I know the end date on the current order, and it does extend into 2017, but he has not given me a definite, if you will.
What is the end date?
On the order, July of 2017.
So the earliest this
We
person,
only have to hold this position, I believe, through the end of this year. And that's still up in the air, whether it's the end
well,
of...
hypothetically, if he came back, it wouldn't be till July. Correct? If that's his end
I
date?
believe he would have to fulfill his order. I don't know if he would be able to get out of it.
What you're saying is it's only
I don't
half
know.
a year?
Yeah.
6 months is what you're saying.
And what I'm saying is the worst case result for our budget is 6 months of that salary.
My understanding is that the county is only obligated to hold the position through the 5-year period, but his order extends beyond that 5-year period.
So when's the 5-year period up?
My thought was August 31st, but there's like a 90-day window that they have.
Of this August or next?
This August, this year.
There's a 90-day window and there's
You
more.
see where I'm going with
They
this? I
have to
mean,
hold it
why are we
until the end of the
budgeting?
year. That's something that Human Resources is working on to get the details on that, and I don't have a definite answer there.
Yeah, and I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. I'm not saying
I
we
think
should.
we have to hold this to personnel, and I think there's more factors that play into it.
Could be, but for
Thank you.
budgeting purposes, it is what it is. I mean,
I put
today,
money in the budget so everyone is aware that
right.
we may need that money in 2017 if he comes back.
Yeah, and if we didn't budget for it, we're all aware that we may have to take it out of fund balance, as Sean said, or a contingency line and fulfill it.
And one other
So-
question, this position, do they have to be a resident of Montgomery County?
It's a part-time, I believe, part-time county executive now appointed position. In the past, it was a board appointed position.
But the veterans position, does it have to be
I don't want to
a...
get off beat.
Mr. Chairman, really, we're beating this up. It's a veteran's position. Let's just keep the money in the line item. If he returns, if we get more information, then we'll judge it accordingly.
Anything else?
Hi, Brenda. I see the Director of Veteran Services has an increase in her salary. Was that contractual?
From the 38,562 to 48,97.
Yeah,
That was just the salary figure that I was given.
okay, so then,
That would be
it's-
her normal increase.
okay, probably contractual then, okay.
And did you already see the outreach programs?
I'm sorry.
The outreach programs?
On the,
Yeah, for the youth programs.
on the youth side,
Yes. Is that for the youth day and...
the 20,000 does include monies for youth day.
Excellent. Okay.
Does or doesn't?
It does. This year, youth day expenses came in at around just under 16,000, if I remember correctly. I was able to secure $6,600 in donation monies to help offset that cost. And I will do the same moving forward with next year.
Okay.
And the miscellaneous supporting services under youth, I was able to decrease that significantly. We no longer have to pay a contractor to teach the Alive at 25 class, so we no longer have an expense there. I have since gotten certification through the National Safety Council and teaching myself.
Nice.
Saving a little bit of money there as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Brenda? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brenda.
All right, Board of Elections still,
Well, so Board of Elections, they have to keep their office open until 5 o'clock. That's why Brenda went ahead, so they're coming as soon as they...
so let's look at the sanitary district budget quick. I can go over that.
Yeah.
Or Sean can help, but basically the increase that you see there is, if you remember, we added the position of maintenance mechanic. That's a good portion of the increase. I believe, I don't know where it is now, but the power and light, we added some money in there, 3,000 or 4,000.
Where's that?
That would be, the power and light would be the 4412 line. And the maintenance mechanic would be the 1110 line. Right, Sean?
Yes, right.
And again, this is the district's supposed to support itself as an enterprise fund, right? So it's the revenue that comes right through that's paying it. What else, Sean? Am I missing something?
I was just going to bring up that point, that the sewer district is self-sufficient fund. It doesn't use like any transfers or anything from general fund. So whatever increases in their budget, it will get passed through, in this case, on the user fee to the people of that district.
The capital projects is separate?
If you would see the first line on that, the real property taxes, that's the only thing they do, it's called net foreign charge. That would cover any indebtedness payments that they have. So my understanding is they're looking at a project before the end of the year, so that's not going away.
The other line that we see, and it's hooked into that personnel, is the hospital and medical insurance, the increases itself that would normally occur there, plus the added person's benefit.
Correct. Like I said, their health claims were up considerably last year, which just happened that one of their employees had a lot of issues, so.
Okay, any questions for me? Or
Is
should-
there any power sharing agreements or anything that they consider in utilities, or is there any solar projects or
Not that I'm-
energy efficiency programs that?
Nothing at that end of the county that I'm aware of. Are you, Sean?
I don't know if they were part of the energy consortium that was with or not. I thought they were.
I don't think so.
No,
I could be wrong, but I don't.
that would be the only thing that they would be involved in, is when the county was involved in that.
Can they be part of our power buying unit?
That I don't know, that's probably a question for either Bob or Megan legally.
Yeah, it's something we got to follow on.
All right, let me ask this question. Who would take least time, the treasurer or personnel?
Less time or more time?
Less time,
Oh,
because Board of Elections will be coming, but we could knock another one out here if one of you two would like to present.
I can just go quick because not fairly straightforward. I can tell you what I'm dealing with. Operational wise, like I said, my budget is down. Mainly because it's things that are out of my control. My .4s are down about 40,000 because back when the new jail was built, the county was paying for the town of land, water, and sewer things, and one of those bonds was paid off. So you'll see a considerable reduction in that. Other than that, what you will see is the total debt payments for the county is down this year. We did pay off one of the bonds for the Public Safety Center. What you will see that is considerably up is my transfers to the road fund and the machinery fund. And that's totally contingent on Paul's budget.
Right.
Because to balance his county road fund and road machinery fund, that money has to come from the general. So any reductions in Paul's budget is going to reduce
Your budget. All right.
On the revenue side, you will see, because right now, sales tax is running just slightly, very slightly above last year. So it's going to be tight to reach this year's budget, or what was budgeted, so I did drop that to the previous year's level. Right now, we were up 6% in the first quarter, we were down 2% in the second quarter. And after the first couple of payments of the third quarter, we're down a little bit. So,
Close to breaking even.
yeah. So we're looking at about a break-even point to the 15 level for the city.
Sean, why are you up 10,000 for hotel?
That's fully contingent on the bed tax that's collected. Last year, we hit about almost 55, 54 and change.
Okay,
So, and again, that hotel motel tax, that is offset, that is offset by a line that's in the county's next budget.
okay. Is the casino gonna be in the county executives? Because I don't see it.
We don't have an estimate yet.
I know it's
of what our
new.
Casino revenue is going to be. As you all know, we did receive the licensing fee this year. don't have yet a real good projection of what the sharing agreement will be in the amount, so right now I did not include it in the budget.
Shouldn't that go to general fund?
It will go to the general fund.
Well, isn't that still under discussion about where?
Well, like I said, the county will get a portion of,
Right.
but it's just, there's a dollar amount not known as yet.
I gotcha. Thank you so much.
On the gain of sale tax acquired properties, it's under 75,000, but I think this year we were at 78,000.
Actually, the net was 700, but we took losses on some, and so, to be honest with you, like I said, fortunately this year, that's probably a little bit conservative, but this year we did have, probably a grand slam with one property farm. Like I said, that was really that doesn't happen too often. We hit an increase like that.
Like it's run about 70,000 historically.
Historically, we're in the past, so we give you the actual history, but it's roughly about 200,000 more is the difference what we take in. It's not a huge increase, a home run for the county. Most of the time, we do not have some prime properties in the auction.
Anything else for Sean? Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.